Friday we started talking about systems of linear equations, where I gave you 3 equations with 3 variables and showed you how to solve for each of those 3 variables using a combination of like elimination and substitution. Okay, so the only thing that you're going to deal with today is that you're going to see it in word problems. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set them up. When you have a monetary value, right? That is not right. There you go. So if there's money attached, such as like you're buying tickets for a show, and different levels of tickets cost different prices, or maybe it has to do with food. You're buying so many hot dogs, so many hamburgers, so many French fries, and how many did you buy of each if you spent this much? Okay, or maybe it's coins or bill, like you have this many 10s, this many 20s, this many 50s, you have a total of whatever, okay? All right, I'm just gonna jump into an example here, and so it's gonna say something like, you have some nickels, you have some dimes, and you have some quarters. Okay. So you can write the value of each of these as like 0.05 for nickel, or 0.10 for dimes, or 0.25 for quarters. But what's going to happen is once you have the equation set up, to get rid of the decimals, you would need to multiply by what? How many places do we want to move that decimal? 2 places to the right. So we would multiply by 100. So for me, instead of writing it as decimals, I just write my nickels as 5N, my dimes as 10D, and my quarters as 25Q. Or you can use X, Y, and Z. However it works, okay? All right. So if you have a problem and it says something like, the first person has 5 nickel, or a certain amount of nickels and a certain amount of dimes, plus a certain amount of quarters, and they have $2.35. So since I wrote these without decimals, I'm going to write my $2.35 without decimals as well. Okay? So it's like just skipping a step, already just having multiplied by 100. Does that make sense? Okay. And then it might say something, the number of dimes is equal to the number of nickels plus quarters minus 3. And nickels, dimes, and quarters is 19. Okay. This is just an example. All right. So you're going to start with 3 equations. All right. And the hardest part on this is getting your equation set up. So if you just need help reading the problem and he's saying, oh, you need to do this or you need to do that, that's fine. And then once you get here, you're just going to treat it like how we did it on Friday. Solve one of the equations for one of its variables and substitute it in, or look for opposites and see if you can do elimination. Yes. Yes. Thank you. All right. So, as with any linear systems, the first thing you kind of want to do is you kind of want to study the 3 equations and go, what coefficients do I have that could possibly eliminate? Or, I mean, this one kind of looks like I could use substitution, but it might not help too much because then I would still have 2 variables if I substituted it in here. So what if I actually took this second equation and made it look a lot like the third equation? Instead, and move the nickel over here and move the quarter over here. So if this was equal to negative n minus q, oh, we want d next, sorry, because it's n then d. See what I'm saying? So we want negative n, the d's already over there, minus q equals negative 3. Do you see why I switched the order? I started to put q, but then I realized, oh no, this one's ndq. So you kind of want them to be in the same order. So if we take the second equation and the third equation, we can eliminate with them, right? So negative n plus d minus q is negative 3. And then the third equation, line them up directly underneath. And then we want to see if we can get it down to 2 variables. So these are opposites, they're going to cancel. Great. That's what we want to happen. Okay? We didn't even have to multiply by anything. Then everything else we're going to combine. Is that supposed to be negative? No. Okay. So we've got d plus d, which is 2d. These are also opposite, and they eliminate. And then negative 3 plus 19, what is that, 16? Okay, divide both sides by 2. And we get d equals 8. We actually got down, we didn't just get down to 1 variable, or 2 variables, we got down to 1 variable. So that's kind of nice. All right, good. But we still need to use that first equation, right? Because we've used the second and the third, we definitely need to use the first. And if we have the first equation, we have a choice of the other two, which one we can use with it. Which one looks like it might be easier? Probably that third one, right? You see that? Because I can easily get opposites somewhere. But I want to take that third equation and let's multiply it by negative 5. So we have the opposites on our end. So in parentheses, I'm just going to write times, negative 5. Just so I know what I did. Okay, so let's write the first equation, which is 5n plus 10d plus 25q equals 235. And then underneath it, we're going to multiply by negative 5. So negative 5 times n is negative 5n. Negative 5 times d is negative 5d. And negative 5 times q is negative 5q. And then negative 5 times 19 is negative 95. So these n's are going to eliminate, and then we combine everything that's left. So 10d minus 5d is 5d. 25, oh, there should be a q right there. 25q minus 5q is 20q. And 235 minus 95 is 140. All right, so we've already got D. We can take this 8 and substitute it in here and solve for that Q. Okay? So we're going to go 5 times 8 plus 20Q equals 140. You can see where this is going because 5 times 8 is 40. So if we subtract 40 from here and from here, we get 20Q equals 100. Divide both sides by 20. How many times does 20 go into 100? By 5 times. Okay. So we have our dimes. We have 8 dimes so far. We have 5 quarters. We just need, what, nickels. Okay. So you come back up to the top and you pick the easiest of the 3. Third one looks easiest, right? So use that one. So I'm going to say nickels plus dimes, which is 8. So n plus 8 plus the q of 5 quarters equals 19. 8 and 5 is 13, so subtract 13. That means there are 6 nickels. Fine. And then you would just want to go nickels, dimes, quarters. Oh, then that would put it out of alphabetical, but that's okay. 6, 8, 5. Okay. 6 nickels, 8 dimes, 5 quarters. All right. We're gonna